That's the question you want to answer. Because exit pages, they may be good if that's what is that the contact page or if that's the thank you page after purchasing. Yeah, that's great. But if
Right.
it's not, then you want to look into why are they exiting that page before getting to the ultimate page that you want them to get to.
Welcome to another episode of Win the Hour, Win the Day. And I am your host, Chris Ward. And today in the house, we have Chris Cheetham-West. And he is a digital marketing expert, but he's going to talk to us about Google Analytics because probably we're underutilizing it, not using it, or also not aware that there's some significant changes coming up that we really want to know about. So welcome to the show, Chris.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for bringing me on. So I look forward to sharing some useful tips.
Oh, good. We love useful tips here. We're all about that. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. I don't think I hear about Google Analytics in day-to-day conversation. I think we're probably not putting the onus on it that it should be. And I have to say with my team, we do stats meetings and we look at stuff and I think we're hooked up on Google Analytics, but I'm not 100% sure. And maybe that's because we, up until recently, been using SEMrush. So I don't know if we had that tied in together or whatever, but yeah, I don't hear it talked about as much as I think it probably should be. So where do we start? What are we missing?
Oh yeah, of course. For one, you can start easily because it's a free tool and it's analytics.google.com. It's really useful. And the thing is, you want to always know if all your efforts are working. So we're out there posting on social media, doing email marketing campaigns, and just engaging online. But we want to make sure that what we're doing is actually efficient and we know what's working. So if we know what's working, then we can easily take advantage of that and do more of what's working as well. So it's this and people are missing all the useful information that's in the tool, such as where people leave off at their site, the places where people come from their site. Are they coming from email marketing? Are they coming from promotions? And also just overall the journey of the people that come to your site. Where are they dropping off at?
Okay, so Google Analytics is free. Now, if I'm using SEMrush, there's two schools of thoughts here. Is it, oh, I should be using Google Analytics more because Google is telling me and it's Google Analytics, so they'd know more than anybody else because it's in their house? Or am I buying into the fact that, yeah, Google Analytics is a free tool, but it's more vague and I should be putting some more muscle into that and paying for additional things? Which is there either or, and which way should I be leaning?
Oh, no, you definitely should get into it because it actually has advanced features. So there's so many features. And the good thing I like about the tool is the fact that it connects with so many other tools out there, such as Google Search Console, Google AdWords. So if you're used to doing ads, it seamlessly connects with all these tools. So in one place, you can look at how your ads are doing. You can also look at if your websites are having any issues, such as indexing problem. So that's one of the advantages of just going with one other tool is that Google, it already integrates with other tools that you might already find useful.
Okay. All right. Okay. And I think am I right? We're not talking about this enough because like I said, this doesn't come up daily with me.
No, it's not. It's not talking about it enough. It says, and that's because in general, majority of businesses, they look at the small data such as, well, here's my visitors and here's how many people go to my site this month and maybe here's how long they stay on the site. But there's so much more to that. So you really can't do much with the basic analytics that you get from, let's say, for instance, a WordPress website content management system or like any other like basic tool that tracks traffic. So you really don't get what you really need and what you need to actually optimize. And I think that's the challenge. And I think the challenge is it comes down to just in general, people don't know much about the tool. So I've been presenting on Google Analytics for, I would say, over 8 years now. And for the most part, whether it's a small business or it's a large organization, people are intimidated and it's overwhelming to really look through all that information. And that's why I tell people, don't try to understand everything about the tool, just get what you need based on your profession, your type of business.
I think it comes down to almost like buying a car. How many cars have I bought in my lifetime? And there's some basics I'm looking for, and none of it is really about things I should be worried about. Is it comfortable? And then I always say, does it give good gas mileage? And they say something like, yeah. And I say, okay, but I don't know my numbers. And I think we look at that with our website as well as, okay, it's up there. If you click on this video, it plays. But I know I can only speak for myself. And sometimes I'm afraid to lift up the hood because it's given me such headaches in the past going, oh, the analytics, it's not that I don't want to know where they fall off or that where my sources of traffic are coming from, but I'm afraid that the more I look, the more I realize I don't understand. And often then I'm going in the opposite of direction of where I wanted to be going. And I get so far removed from my original goal because I'm just overwhelmed. So I think we look at our websites, for myself, in a wrong without going into any depth. And I think we get overwhelmed and we just abandon this.
That's a perfect explanation. That's
well, I love being perfect.
That's great. That's exactly what people
Yeah.
feel. That's just intimidating. Let me just not worry about it at all. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we should be making sure we're signed up for Google Analytics, because also you've mentioned a couple times when we were chatting that there's going to be a change in a couple of months. Now, what happens in that change? Is it going to serve us better? What are we anticipating with that change?
So Google Analytics 4 is going to be the one that you have to use actually in July. So I recommend just trying to get one of those instead of just using the universal analytics right now. So either transition over and start using it as well. So this new tool right here, Google Analytics 4, it's going to help us understand the entire customer journey. So if I go to your website today and I make some actions, but I don't purchase your product, we're going to know why. So I go to your website today, I don't do any purchasing. I go to your website next week, I still don't do any purchasing. And I go to your website 3 weeks from now, and I finally make a purchase. So Google Analytics 4 is going to be able to let us know that how long did it take us to make that purchase? Did we come from ads the first time, or did we come from social media the second time? Or did we go and look at a newsletter and then finally make that purchase? So it tracks the entire journey, so you can use that information in order to optimize. And not only that—
Okay, hold on. Let me jump in just so I understand. So Google Analytics 4 will say, person A came to my website 3 times and they came from these 3 different directions, whereas previously up until now, we can say 10 people came on this day, 5 people came on this day, but it could be the same 10 or the same 5. We don't know. We're just showing how many hits. But now we're showing the lifespan of that journey.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, that is helpful. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And Google Analytics 4. So that's already there. It's in it's not official, but we can sign up for that.
It's official right now. It's just that right now you can sign up for the old analytics, but in July, they're not going to let you use the older version. So you're going to have to use Google Analytics 4 in order to see the future, the data that comes in. Yep.
That does sound like it's helpful. Okay. All right. So now we're going to be able to see the lifetime journey of it. They're not going to make it harder though. It's going to be easier for us.
Yeah, real easy.
Okay. And yeah, I think you just sound like you make everything sound like a good time, but it may not be. All right. I know one of your tips when we were chatting was, listen, don't try to learn everything. And that is that we get overwhelmed. So if we go in and we say, we're just going to focus on this one thing, don't give ourselves a headache and take our toys and go home.
Yeah. Oh, yes, exactly. So you want to think about, for sure, go in there, don't try to know everything, but figure out what type of business am I in? And what do I really want to know? Maybe 5 different metrics that you want to look at. So for example, the tool is used by large organizations, small businesses, IT people, also even PR organizations reached out to me before saying, hey, we want to use this for press releases and just understanding how people respond to our articles. So there's so many different types of uses for it. So you got to figure out what is it for you. And some companies, for example, one of my clients, they're a big e-commerce organization. So they sell millions of dollars worth of products every year, and they want to be able to track the revenue and see how people engage. So their main goal would be to go to analytics and look at the e-commerce. Right? So that's one way too. Another person might just look at behavior. Maybe they have a branding website. And one good thing about this new Google Analytics 4 is it can track how many people scroll, when they scroll, and if they play videos, if they pause the video, if they start the video, if they download PDFs, all automatically. You don't have to put any additional code or anything.
Okay, all right. So that does sound like it's helpful. So even if you're just coaching, consulting, or a small business, you can say this visitor revisited 4 times, played 2 videos, downloaded 1 PDF. So we can look at the amount of depth and scope that they're looking for to make a decision.
Exactly. Yes.
Then that does sound helpful. It must be annoying to people like you that you want to go around town ringing a bell to make us understand, because there's so much coming at you all the time with social media or AI, or there's all this stuff. And then we're just not looking at some basic fundamentals that can be highly informative to us.
Yeah. So yeah, so many simple products, and you really just use it, I'll say once a week, just to get an idea of
Okay.
it. And then from there, you'll get an idea of what reports you want, and then you can just have that report sent to you on a weekly basis. And so you're all constantly up to date about what your users are doing on your sites.
Yeah, I had a client and I was helping her with her systems and processes in her business. And again, we work with people that really get time back, so they're not working crazy hours and stuff. But she worked with companies and she did the Google dashboard. And I'm telling you, maybe this is it. I think pilots would have a hard time navigating the depth and the scope of what she was providing for her clients. And so I think we all just go, this is too much.
Yeah, that's exactly. So sometimes even for my business, I don't have time to look at it every day, but I create those small reports. And even for speakers and coaches, like I do speaking engagements, and whenever somebody reaches out to me, the first thing I do is I go to my analytics and see what city or state or country they came from, what page they landed on, because most of the time it's not on the homepage, and then what page do they go through, and how long did they stay on my speaker reviews page or my about section before they finally made that choice to contact.
Okay, that's interesting. So it's not just going in, looking at the website, but if I reach out to you and then you say, oh, she reached out to me to be on the show, let's take a look at, and I guess it's hard to explain, but some way, somehow you're going to be able to key in my name or something and see how long I was on your site. Like, how do they pick me out of the crowd?
Yeah, not the name, but I just look at where they came from. So if somebody fills out my contact form and they say they're in Chicago, then I just go to my analytics and see the visitors from Chicago.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. I was like, how does that work? Okay, all right. So you're doing a little bit of recon work type thing. So I reach out to you. I want you to do a speaking gig. I tell you, you say, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Chicago. Great. So then you go and take a look and you can see we've only got 2 Chicago people or even 1. And so then that helps you, gives you a little bit of assumption, but it's certainly better than what the rest of us are doing, which is
Yes,
looking at the
exactly.
ceiling, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a little bit of a ninja move. Okay. All right. Okay. We look at it once a week. We decide we're just going to look at a couple of things. What are some other things that you think we're missing when it comes to either digital marketing or just using the Google Analytics?
I think what's missing is just trying to only look at the basics. So that's one thing that's missing. And also what's missing is just optimization. So when we look at this information, it's great, but we got to think about what are we actually going to do? Are we going to take action? So that's one of the major things. So for example, if we know that people are staying in a certain page for longer, how do we go to that page and add more content there? How do we go to the page and add more call to actions because we know they're spending time on that page and making sure everything runs smoothly. So I think that's the second thing is we look at the information, but you got to take action. And even in my beginning, in my business, it's like, that's what I'll struggle to. I'll look at the information, but I think it's like, have I taken action on this information I'm seeing?
Okay, so you bring up a really good point, and I think I would have done this wrong, because if a bunch of people were landing on this page and you say take action, I would have looked at it as, oh, okay, that page we're doing good on, we better fix the other pages. But if that's where they're going, then make that page more robust, put your efforts into that first, and then you may still have my philosophy and say, what else can we do with the other pages if everybody's going there? But keep adding to the page they're visiting. I would have missed that. I would have missed that opportunity.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good because it's going to get you more results over time, even with the search optimization, more content, more engagement. We were there, so why not make that experience a little bit better?
And then that also lets us look at what pages they're exiting on. So that can be a plus or a minus. Like they get to this page and they exit because they've made a decision or because they've had enough and this isn't what they want. So that also can be you can be giving that a lot of food for thought when you're able to tell what page they exit on.
Yes, exactly. So you got to think about, if you see that page that they're exiting on, do you want them to exit that page, or would you like them to keep going throughout your website? That's the question you want to answer, because exit pages, they may be good if that's what is that the contact page, or if that's the thank you page after purchasing. Yeah, that's great. But if
Right.
it's not, then you want to look into why are they exiting that page before getting to the ultimate page that you want them to get to.
Yeah, I think we've had this conversation before with other guests that talk about websites. And I think for so many of us, it's once it's get it done and be done with it. And you're just saying, oh, this beast of a website, just got to get it up. And then please leave me alone. But and I think we've been seduced and distracted by social media for so much, because the sky is always falling with social media. The algorithms are always changing. Like you could be up 24 hours a day and never be on top of it. And so then I think we have neglected what really is our storefront to the world. And what we're doing in all these other platforms, making ourselves crazy, is so people will visit our website and then we just forget about it.
Yes. Yeah, it's true. So that's the challenge, is like social media is one of those things where it's great, but you get the immediate engagement from it when you post something. So you think, okay, it's helping my business. That's great. But there's all those other areas, such as your sites, such as Google, such as search engines, other platforms that you want to pay attention to, because so much business is being done on those different channels.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we'll look at the behavior report. We'll check out the exit strategies. We'll need to know more about our visitors, and really then just figuring out, even looking at which social media sites, then we can be saying, all right, out of 10 visitors, whatever, 7 are coming from LinkedIn, then maybe I don't need to be making TikTok videos 24 times a day.
Yes, exactly. Yep. Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So what else, what makes you crazy that we don't understand? If you're living in this world and the rest of us are just walking around with without a thought in our head about this, where else do you go, wow, this is really missed opportunities?
Oh, okay. So missed opportunities. Wow. So I think even with the tool, you can see what buttons people are clicking on when they go to your site. They go to your homepage, and it's, where are people clicking? And it'll show you they're clicking on this page, this button, this on the top left, top right. And then of course, you know that all my call to action, such as my social media icons at the very bottom, it'll let you know you probably need to push those to the very top then, because not everybody's scrolling down on your site. So that's one of the missed opportunities. And just in general, you might look at your site and say, you know what, I can't track if people fill out my contact form, or I can't track if people pause a video or they click a certain button. But you'll be surprised of how much you can track with the analytics. Pretty much right now with this new profile, it's tracking scrolls, downloads. You can track, if you put a link to my site, somebody goes to your site and then they click on an external article to maybe, I don't know, entrepreneur.com, you can track and see if they clicked on that link. Before, that wasn't really possible unless you implemented additional code. So there's so many different things that are opportunities right now for businesses, coaches, speakers to really maximize how they get results online.
Okay, so then I could be saying, oh, they landed on my page, but now they're checking out my podcast, or by checking out me on other podcasts. Okay, perfect. And so then in your world, do you lean heavily into this? And if money is an object, you would do this and SEMrush, or this and other things? Or do you think you can live a complete life with the data that you're getting from here?
Yes, you could live. Yep. Add advertisements, purchases, you're good to go.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And I guess it doesn't give you I guess like if it lands on your blog page, of course, I'm asking all this because we can't do show and tell on an audio podcast, but can you then see which blogs are doing the best, or they just show you that they're on the blog page?
Oh yeah. So a lot of summer class, they see exactly what blogs or blog posts are doing the best. So it'll give you a list of exactly what's popular, and then even the keywords that people are typing in to get to your website, to get to the blog. So it'll be something like how to fix your car in the snow or something like that. They type that in Google and they landed on the page about how to fix your car in bad weather. And you can see that specifically. So now you know to work on that blog post or to create more blog posts that are similar.
And it's free, and we've all
Yeah,
been,
it's free.
yeah. Oh my gosh. So we've all been
Yeah.
ignoring this and it's free. Well, that's not helpful. All right. Okay. So you've got a lot of work to do, Chris. You need to be ringing that bell and making people pay more attention to you and get
Yeah,
this
yeah,
out there, right?
I definitely do. So,
Okay. All right. Where can people find more of your brilliance, Chris?
so chrisinwest.com. So that's my website. And then Chris Cheetham-West on LinkedIn, on Facebook, same thing. And then on Twitter, Instagram, Chris in West is the username.
Okay, fabulous. I will make sure to put that in the show notes. Please share this with a entrepreneurial friend, a business buddy, because boy, oh boy, we're missing the boat on this one. Chris, thank you so much. We appreciate you and your wisdom, and we will see everyone else in the next episode. Thanks so much.